So what do you think about belts ranking and advancement? Like,
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I struggle here at my school with that a little bit. So the thing is like I think we can, I think we have to come up with a better system, right? One of
yeah,
my friends recently was talking about, oh, Josh Peacock, by the way, he's another podcast, Combat Learning. He was talking about creating an ELO for our sport. So basically a ranking system. So,
yeah.
let's say I go out there and compete. And I compete at a certain level, I get a certain amount of points for winning, and I get points for winning specific ways. But let's say then I reach to a certain like number, let's say like 1500, I get like a 1500, and that's my ranking, and I lose to a guy that's 1300, I lose points.
It's
Or
just
if I'm
like
15,
chess, right?
yeah,
Like if you're a
exactly.
750 and you lose to a 400, then you
Oof.
so you're like, I'm a
Yeah,
1705, like a 750.
man.
This is my chess.com score, okay? So no judgment. But it's that it fluctuates based on the skill set that you're winning against or losing to.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly right. And so that's, I think, a more honest ranking system. And that's, if we really want rank to matter, I think we need to make it more objective. I mean, so right now, the way that I use ranking in my school is relative to the room, first of all. So out of all the people that I call blue, as you're performing with them, how are you with them? If you're not performing outcomes, and even not just the blues, just other white belts, then I'm never going to belt you, and I'm sorry, because we need to have some objective reality to what we do, and it has to be performance based, because we're learning how to affect bodies, and if we can't affect bodies, then what does rank mean? The second way that
Right.
we think about it is through competition. If I go out there in the world and beat somebody who is in a certain rank, and no, yeah, I'm probably of that same caliber. So, man, here's your belt. But honestly, it's arbitrary.
Yeah, I've always the further I get along in this, I've always felt it's fun, but it's like that's what it is. It's just it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
But what are you really, a guy who goes and competes at 80cc and wins, and he's technically a brown belt. Like, that it's just it always what it's always come off to me as it's a marketing ploy for schools to make money. They go,
I
hey,
agree.
they tie you to this idea of advancement, and you stick around because it's fun. It feels good to get rewarded for showing up, right? For your efforts, that you're getting better at something, and you get a stripe around your belt. And it's cool as you do that more and more. It's something to work towards to achieve getting a black belt. But the further you do it, you realize that like the belt has no indicator of your actual where your skill set lies, and it's at the discretion of how that professor tends to award belts. So someone at your school who may be a white belt by what's around their waist might be well more advanced than that because you're waiting for certain skills to present themselves, and they actually have other skills that in another school would beat their white belt. So it's like, I don't know. How do you
It's
keep
tough.
something like that as ecological approach spreads and more schools adopt it, or maybe that's actually good, and then you do rework the structure for these belts so that they mean something. Because if everyone just keeps getting belts because they hung out long enough, that's bad, dude.
Yeah,
That's bad for anything.
I think that, you know, we're adults. We shouldn't still be worried about the gold star. I mean, and actually, I heard this thing the other day, like, where a guy said there's no such thing as an adult, that we're just giant fucking children,
I
and we're
feel like
always
that.
like
Yeah.
that. And I know
Same.
I'm the same way, right? Because, I was actually having a
Like
discussion
9
about
years old.
like part of the, and I don't know. I was talking about that last night with somebody. So, I was gonna make a fucking point. I just totally got off on the fucking. Oh,
This is sweet.
so
I've derailed you. That's good.
yeah,
Finally.
no.
Jeez. Took an hour and 42 minutes, but I finally got you off your train of thought.
It's
Wonderful.
hard. I'm pretty robust guy. Like even when I'm
Yeah.
completely exhausted and fucked up, I still function.
I've
Um,
earned a podcaster. That's a stripe right there. Come on. Let's be real.
but no, I think that like the thing is I think that creating a real objective system. So like we do it in all we games too. Like if you're playing FPS and you do specific objectives and you complete them, you get rewards for them. But if you
Totally.
don't complete them, you don't. If you jump into the competitive playlist, you have skill-based matchmaking, and you're going to get points based on how you perform. And if you lose, you'd lose ranking. And so we
Right.
do it in all other things. Why not do it here? And I think it would make it more interesting. One, for a new practitioner, someone coming off the street, it takes the pressure off of them. Like just have fun,
Yeah.
man. Learn how to grapple. But if you're a competitor, now we really have something to chase, and then we can
Yeah.
really say who's good and who isn't.